If you don't include drag-along provisions, you might not be able to sell your business. As they say, the threat is from within, and today we'll be discussing the top 3 mistakes that business owners make when it comes to their shareholders agreement. If you're new, I'm Malcolm Zoppi, an English qualified solicitor and the managing director of Gaffney Zoppi, my law firm. My goal on YouTube is to make business law easy for UK entrepreneurs like you. Now, before we discuss the top 3 issues when it comes to shareholders agreements, let me just define shareholders agreements very quickly. It is a contract between the shareholders, aka the members of a company, and it details a few things, including how decisions are to be made, which decisions are reserved for the directors, non-compete clauses to avoid existing shareholders setting up a separate business that competes with the current business, and the duties of the shareholders towards the company. Fantastic. Now let's jump straight into the top 3 issues. Number 1 is not including drag-along provisions. Drag-along provisions enable a shareholder or a few shareholders to drag along everyone else and sell their shares to a third party. So this is very important when it comes to selling the entire business and wanting to exit and cash in. If you don't include drag-along provisions, you might not be able to sell your business because usually business acquirers want to acquire the entire business. Very quickly, this is how drag-along provisions work. Usually you set a threshold, for example, 51% of the shares, and so long as that threshold is met, you can drag along everyone else to sell their shares to this third party. Great, let's move on to the second main mistake, which is not including a deed of adherence in the shareholders agreement itself. The deed of adherence will enable you to get other new shareholders to sign on to the existing shareholders agreement without having to draft a new one. It's usually found in the schedule of the shareholders agreement, which is towards the end of the document. And it's usually a 1-page document that is easily signed by the new shareholder, stating that they agree to this existing shareholders agreement. Now, before we move on to the final mistake, make sure to subscribe to the channel because it will continue to give you, to the point, practical and pragmatic legal information and templates. Also, if you want a bespoke shareholders agreement to be professionally drafted by a qualified solicitor, make sure to reach out via our website linked in the description below. So the third main mistake is trying to use a shareholders agreement when instead you probably should be using the articles of association and amending those. For example, if you're taking on investors and you want to issue different kinds of shares, you might want to amend the articles instead of trying to do this in a shareholders agreement. The reason being is that it makes it legally binding on anyone related to the company, including directors and shareholders, whilst a shareholders agreement is really only binding on the people that actually sign the agreement itself. So how do you find out whether you need bespoke articles of association? Well, I've created a video to answer just that. It's right here. You can click on it now to learn more. Thank you for watching.